feel like once the fires end for us, they start over in California.
I mean, it's true. As soon as our monsoon starts to kick in, our wildfire season kind of slows down a little bit. You know, and as good as July was for our rainfall, really put a quick end to things. But you remember how bad it was for us.
Yeah.
Through April, May, and June, it seems like we were covering fires really every other day. But yeah, like you said, now dozens of wildfires burning across the west for hot and dry conditions. Meanwhile, it was 101 degrees here in Tucson again today. Hotter than Yuma for once, 88 out there. They actually picked up a little bit of rain out in Yuma today, 0.08, 8/100ths of an inch in Yuma, and that was actually good enough for a record rainfall for them today, underneath 1/10 of an inch. Only in Yuma, 103 degrees in Phoenix today. The rest of southern Arizona right now looks like this. It's 95 here in Tucson, thanks to that cloud cover kind of thickening up on us now. 80s and 90s once you get south and east of town. Temperatures tomorrow, I still think you're going to be above 100 degrees again, right around 101, 102 for a daytime high, and we're only looking at about a 10% chance of storms on your Labor Day holiday. So mostly cloudy skies, Tucson and points west, partly cloudy skies once you get east of town, and you can kind of see some of that light rain working through Yuma County right now, coming to an end. Maybe you have some friends and family that headed down to Rocky Point for the long holiday weekend and you were stuck behind. Well, it didn't look like too great of a weekend down there with some showers and storms the last couple of days, so you didn't miss all too much. Tomorrow down there is looking better as Tropical Depression Lydia starts to weaken as it moves out into the Pacific, and it's actually bringing Southern California some rain now as well. So some good news there for the wildfire situation. We are tracking another strong hurricane way out in the Atlantic. This is Hurricane Irma, now up to a Category 3 hurricane, just continues to intensify. It was a Category 2 yesterday, now winds up around 115 miles an hour, and this is going to continue to intensify actually over the next couple of days. Could actually become a Category 4 hurricane as it makes its way off to the west. So by the time we head on into next weekend, we're going to have to keep a close eye on this hurricane. Could have some impacts for the southeast coast. So something to keep an eye on, certainly. Maybe you're heading up to Mount Lemmon tomorrow for a day trip. Could see some storms up there on the Labor Day holiday. Daytime high up there around 75 degrees with about a 20% chance of storms up in the Catalinas. Otherwise, the rest of southern Arizona heading into tomorrow will be looking like this. I think we'll see some storms popping up over the higher elevations of the White Mountains, and those will kind of make their way down to the lower elevations throughout the day. And I actually think a little bit better chance to get a storm going here in Tucson as we head on into Tuesday, but that particular model doesn't seem to like our chances. I do. 102 here in Tucson tomorrow. The rest of southern Arizona will be around 93 Sierra Vista, 96 in Douglas. And here's that 7-day forecast. We up that rain chance 20% on Tuesday. We drop it back down for a couple of days, and then again heading on into next weekend, we'll up it a little bit. Overall, though, pretty low-grade monsoon pattern as we kind of enter the tail end of the season now.
So if you're not us and you don't have to work this weekend, it's a pretty nice weekend to have off, right?
Not bad.
Perfect.
Well, we'll be here. Also here, Ari Alexander, football, football, football.
Yes, football, Nick. Welcome to sports. Arizona football opens its season with an FCS opponent in northern Arizona as a 25-point favorite. Wildcat fans are welcoming a win for their Cats to start the year after last year's 3-9 debacle. Can the Cats make it back to a bowl game under Rich Rodriguez? Game 1 would be a good start. Here come the Wildcats at Arizona Stadium for the home opener to the 2017 season. First quarter, after a few slow series, NAU is punting, and Shun Brown is back to the return, makes one man miss, and now he is directing his blockers to the long side of the field, and Shun Brown is gone. 66-yard punt return for a touchdown on the Wildcats, up instantly 7-0. Still in the first, NAU would tie the game at 7 on a long run, but the Wildcats get their own long run. Nick Wilson, a senior, is healthy, 46 yards to the house. Wildcats up 14-7. Now Arizona trying to pass, and Brandon Dawkins, short one to Tony Ellison. Ellison is going to turn upfield and turn this one into a touchdown. 43-yard score, Wildcats up 21-7. Just before half, it's 21-14, and Arizona goes with the reverse to Tyrell Johnson, the fastest player on the team. He covered this last 40 yards with a running start in 4.04. 55 yards and gone, 28-14 Arizona. Next possession, nearly the same play. Our cameraman was faked out. Brandon Dawkins scores 10 yards out, 34-14. Arizona leads at half. The Lumberjack is not happy. Brandon Dawkins, the zone read, and he is going to break tackles on his way to the end zone. This in the third quarter, 66 yards and a score, 41-14 Arizona. Still in the third, more long runs for the Wildcats. This will be Zach Green, who is the third or fourth string running back, depending how you look at it. 37-yard touchdown, 48-14 at this point. This one is over. Arizona would only suffer one serious injury in the win. Khalil Tate, the backup quarterback, lands hard on his shoulder here, which would lead to Rhett Rodriguez getting his first career touchdown. Arizona goes on to win 62-24. Coming up next in sports, Paul Cicalo wraps up the Wildcat home win with his post-game report and highlights from Arizona soccer. Coming up next. Welcome back to sports. Arizona is in the win column to start the year, and the Wildcats offense looks explosive. But what about the defense? Paul Cicalo has this week's post-game report.
By the time many of the Arizona Wildcats left the locker room here at Arizona Stadium, it was already past midnight. We're talking Sunday morning, long evening, but one thing's for sure. Most of the offense can sleep well, putting up 62 points, and the defense, not too shabby as well, especially Demetrius Flanagan-Fouts with his 2 interceptions.
That's always a dream, but, you know, I'm more focused on the team goals than personal goal. We got some cleanup to do. You know, there's never, games aren't perfect. You know, it's the first game, so we got to be able to shake it off and come in next week and respond.
Well, I thought our guys played hard. They were, you know, I think emotionally into the game. I certainly thought we got outplayed. They had outcoached in the first half, and we struggled defensively the whole game. But it's good to have a win and teach off of a win as opposed to a loss. And We had two, like I said, two long runs. Two of Brandon's long runs were taken back. And they could have been good calls. I don't know. I'll have to watch the film.
I just say there's little minor tweaks that we need to get handled and, make sure we don't get those called back in a more, close, crucial game. I'd rather get those mistakes out now than next week. So it just gives us more to build on. And
it certainly won't get any easier for the Arizona Wildcats. They play next week on this very field Saturday at 7:30 p.m. against Houston. Reporting from Arizona Stadium, Paul Cicala, News 4, Tucson.
All right, thank you, Paul. Arizona soccer in action in Tempe against Boston University, down 1-0 in the 77th minute, and Gabby Stoyan will get the pass in the box and will finish it home to tie the game at 1. Arizona's late goal gets them a draw in the game. That's all for sports.
Finally tonight, Panda Twins in Atlanta are celebrating their first birthday. Here's a look at their birthday festivities.
Aww.
They didn't like the ice cream cakes, but they did like the cardboard boxes they came in. Now, these two girls are the only giant female twins in the U.S. They are much cuter than JP. I am going out on a limb.
Yeah, they are.
Look at them.
I think most people would
Look
agree
at
with
the
you.
fluffiness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you explain this panda song I keep hearing about?
I don't know.
Probably not. No. Something's next.
What are you guys looking at me for?
You're the song guy.
See ya.